All right, I think we're live. Hey everyone, I'm David Room. I got the work off today. Got off of work for a few days here, so I'm working on some projects. It's been a while since I've live streamed, but I've been wanting to get back into it here. So today we're gonna work on some 3D printing projects. I've been working on a number of things. Most recently, I've been doing a lot of work on my game, kind of trying to get a lot of little odds and ends fixed up, but I'm trying to keep some momentum going on multiple aspects of my project. So we're going to do some 3D printing. And what I'm doing here is towards the end of the year, tried to focus on making some 3D prints of some of the high detail ships that I've built. So earlier this year, I did some fighters, and this is an example that I have from a few months ago. And this is a fighter, and I'm working now on some larger designs that require a smaller scale. So this is a ship called the Sayota. It's actually the hero ship of my book, Uriel's Revenge. And in that book, a Sayota belongs to the privateers who are the main characters, and it's called Martin Luther. And this is a very small scale version. The actual ship is extremely tall. You can see like a docking ring here to get an idea of scale. These windows here at the top are like very tall room height windows. And I have another couple of larger ships that I want to print. So we're going to be working today on getting the Hammond ready to print. I might have done some work on this already. I kind of forget where I'm at, so I've got to get into it and see. And the way this works is I do all of my modeling programmatically for anybody who's new. So I use Python and some existing libraries and a lot of functionality and wrappers that I built to do the 3D modeling. And then I have sort of another project that has built a lot of functionality for converting these models, which are designed for game assets or 3D rendering of like high detail sort of 3D art type scenes, into projects that can be 3D printed. So you can do things like split components into multiple pieces, add peg holes and pegs to connect parts together, things like that. So basically, like everything else, we write code, we write scripts to do this conversion, and then the idea is that we can make little tweaks or even big tweaks to the design, and we still have something that we can 3D print without having to do a lot of manual work. So let's get into it here. I'm gonna bring up my UI here, just double check. I just shared this on Twitter. I know it's kind of a lunch stream. Usually I get more folks watching in the evening, but just want to check and make sure everything was shared, and then we'll get into it. And actually, let me just bring up some images too of what the high detail stuff that we're looking at here looks like for comparison. So something I've been also working on is getting kind of like a unified set of the different art that I made this year. So this ship right here is the Sayota or Luther in the 3D rendered, like Blender rendered view. I did a lot of work this year with compositing and rendering, so you can see the comparison here. And yeah, so the ship that we're going to be looking at today is the Hammond, which looks like this. So this is one of the first high detail renders I did with compositing. I've since added a lot more detail. This was kind of an experiment where I really exaggerated the edges of the panels with panelware. It's maybe not a final look I would choose, but it was kind of a cool look, so I wanted to save it. And then, yeah, actually, I don't have another. I do have this project, so let's, whoops, wrong directory here. Whoops, interesting. I always break these little things and then have to fix them. Let's see here. Interesting. What happened to sunlight? Okay, HD. It's got a new So when the script runs, it generates basically a set of files and a project that Blender loads in. Excuse me, and uses to build a scene. So yeah, the ship we're looking at here is this one, and there's a couple challenges here that we're going to have to work through for the purposes of 3D printing. There is a bunch of little surface detail that I added, like these pipes. These probably just won't translate to 3D printing very well, so I might eliminate them. Excuse me. The other thing, so yeah, there's a couple other things. These radiators we're going to want to do as a separate piece and insert, and part of that might involve making these cutouts where they go a little bit bigger so there's room to fit. And then the other thing that I want to do, there's, these models are never done, which is kind of both a blessing and a curse. It's fun to be able to continue making changes, but sometimes things are never finished. I want to swap around a couple things here. So I want to swap the positions of this thruster and this this shield here. So maybe let's I'm gonna get some music going and we'll jump in and do that first. And another thing that I should do here is I should add panels to these parts too. Although for the purposes of a lot of what we're doing, I don't know if that's going to matter. That's been something that's on. Oh, and then the other thing that we have to do, I don't think I did this yet. Let me just switch back to solid view. Is yeah. So the other thing we've got to do is there are these dishes here, and they need to be adjusted so that they are not intersecting with the hull. So yeah, this basically, I did something like this already with the Sayona, so I just need to do it here. So basically this, the origin has to come up here to the top of the panel or whatever, so we don't have intersections. And then we have to, in the project, we have to tweak things a little bit just so everything is lying flat, and add connectors and things. But yeah, the goal here is going to be get this ready to print, and I have a lot of filament that I want to use. Something that I've been kind of feeling lately is that, you know, you learn things by forcing yourself to use a lot of something, whether it's, you know, spend a lot of time on some, well, time is maybe not the best example, but like if you can write a lot of code, you know, you're probably going to make some progress. I feel like with 3D printing, I need to print a lot of filament. I need to try printing some bigger things and learn. Even if the end result is I don't want to print things large again, I'm probably going to learn some things from doing that and have some insights. Oh, another thing that I'd like to do with this one, might not do that today, is these circular things really need some kind of panel or something. And then overall, we need to do some intersection and cleaning up. You know, like this should not just be a raw mesh that kind of goes. There should be either some kind of edge here, or we should be cutting panels and things like that. Just something. Panel cuts actually would be really easy here. Since this is a cylinder, we can just pop in a little bit wider cylinder and get a nice edge around things. But or yeah, project some circles and widen things out. But okay, yeah, let's just get started. Let me get some music going here. And as usual, we're going to listen to some White Bat audio. This is the Cyberpunk Industrial Fight Mix Duel. Starts off with one of my favorite songs of his. Okay. My wife is promoting me on Twitter. She and the kids are out of town visiting her parents for New Year, so I have the house to myself. So now is my prime time for projects. Okay. Yeah, let's get into this. Looks like I maybe do have a project already for the Hammond. Okay, that's good. some of this we might have to fix. I kind of redid how some things work. Let me just comment this out because I'm pretty sure this is out of date. And let's take a look at the... See how these have nice names and these have numbers. Okay. The other thing I'd like to figure out is a better way to do stands. So when I was first doing this stuff, I think it was early this year, I was trying to put holes in things and have like a stand that would connect with a peg. And I was never really satisfied with how that went. Newer stuff, I did these kind of cool robotic arm stands, but what I like about this is it's kind of like a in-universe thing, that you might have some cool robot arms holding a smaller ship up and moving it around. You wouldn't really have that for a larger ship, so I just want kind of like a nice stylized stand for these models so they can set at an angle. And I need to figure out how to do that. Might take a little engineering to figure out how to get it, you know, a stand that I can print that balances right, but we'll see. Okay, so let's actually, before we get started here with the printing too, I want to swap those components around. So let's do that. Okay. So this, okay. This script is actually running the, running the code that generates the models, so we're gonna update that here. Whew. That still is not right. As you can see, it does not take long to run this code, and that's in large part thanks to an awesome mesh Boolean library called Manifold. So this one guy just wrote a mesh processing library called Manifold a couple years ago that just sped everything up. Everything uses it now. My stuff doesn't necessarily have a ton of booleans in it. A lot of stuff is constructed, I would kind of call it constructively, where we're assembling pieces instead of like cutting into things. But there are a lot of booleans here, like you can see some of these panel cuts and things like that. So yeah, so what we're going to try to do is swap these two components around, and can actually should be able to run this, the low detail version 2. Actually, let's just stick with this one, because this is what we're going to be working with. And I have this high detail version and a low detail version kind of for different applications. So here's kind of the base that we're going to be working on. Yeah, okay, so we want to swap these two components around. If I'm lucky, it'll just be in a constant here that I can easily swap. So basically we want to just swap these guys around. I put off doing these things sometimes, and I just gotta remind myself, like, you built this whole thing to be easy to change. Okay. Let's see if this looks decent. Yeah. I think we want some shield rings, like, right in here, maybe. Gotta rethink this design just a little bit. I try to make it make sense where things go. Something I don't like about a lot of sci-fi designs is they don't make sense. They sort of look cool, I guess, but they don't really, like, the placement of the components doesn't really make sense. And when you start thinking about it, it makes sense why they don't make sense, because it's hard. It's hard to make a design that looks kind of cool and yet has things placed in a functional way. Okay, so we've got that. Actually, let me just gotta get some things going here in my work log so I can track what we're working on here. Okay, so okay, so now that should be fixed, and just to show you kind of how cool this is, right? So now we can go to one of the scripts that generates one of our 3D art pieces that uses this ship, and that change will be there. Still have the same layout and everything, except now these two components are swapped around. How cool is that? Okay. Oh yeah, the next thing is we need to fix this fix this stuff here. Let's do that. So we got to fix the alignment of that dish. And I think what we had to do here for the Sciula is we're adjusting all of these devices for panel thickness. But the question is, that was the block. It really is just this. Okay, I see. I'm handling that separately here. Let's just see what that part is called. Oops. Yeah, it's just com pivot 0 and com pivot 1. Okay. Let me just make sure that this is what I'm expecting it to be here. Yeah, and our origin here is right there. And we do have a little gap between this thing and the origin. So, and I'm not seeing any offset that I'm adding here where we intersect. So if we kind of go back to what we were doing before, we should see if we view it right here, we shouldn't see any intersections here. Yeah, See, that looks good. And you can see when we turn on the line thickness that this is intersecting just perfectly. So I think all we have to do is actually just add com pivot here to our device prefixes, and then we should be good. So com pivot, right? This is complaining about this. ID's taking a while to catch up. Okay. So we're just basically pushing those pieces out a little bit. Yeah, perfect. And then we get a little cutout around there too. Nice. That that's great. Okay. So, we've got some model tweaks done. Actually, as long as we're here tweaking the model, let's try to make those cutouts around where the radiators go in a little bit bigger. Okay, so okay, interesting. I'm generating the cutters right here. It's great because like I don't remember this stuff. You write it and you forget it. Although I feel like with my project, I work on high detail art, and then I work on low poly people, and then I work on low poly ships or game, and like I've been working on these things for a number of years. So each time I come back, I find it easier to get back into. The code is getting better. I'm finding the right abstractions for things. And if you're new here, I don't use AI for this project because I consider it to be kind of like a personal, creative art project. And I use AI coding a lot these days in my day job. So I kind of want to stay fresh, and it's actually really rewarding to work on your own code base that you didn't make with AI. Things get more abstract. It's nice to be able to keep control over something. Maybe not the fastest, but that's not the goal here. The goal here isn't doing things as fast as possible. It's kind of it's about enjoying the process. It's not about doing things as fast as possible. It's about enjoying the process. Okay, so I just call this bounds. Let's see here. Just make this a box. So a real easy thing we could do here is just make this a little bit bigger. I want to do something a little bit smarter here. Actually, here let's just visualize both of these. Yeah. And this is actually exactly what we want for the purposes of printing this too, because I don't want to get too fancy with how this is going to get connected or anything now. I just want to make sure that there's an actual spot for it. So, okay, let's just start by adding a little bit extra. And having extra room is going to be both important for actually physically fitting the pieces together, as well as just looking interesting. You know, I don't want just, you know, basic rectangular slots. Things, a really good way to make things look more interesting is just by adding a little bit of asymmetry or a different shape to things. So we're gonna do a rib here. So and actually, let's just, before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, I was confused. Bounds, I don't usually call mesh bounds, so let's call this bounds mesh. Oh, nice. My friend Jupiter BJY is here. How's it going? Make sure to get sleep. Now, is it... It's ahead there, so you would be going to sleep for New Year's Eve, right? Or is it all... It's not already New Year's Day, is it? Anyway, it's good to see you. I'm working on some 3D modeling for some 3D printing. Oh no. So it's already, is it already early in the morning, New Year's Day? If so, happy 2026. Oh yeah, the thumbnail is a 3D print. So, I'm setting up another ship for 3D printing. And also hello to, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Depan Janmajumdar. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but good to see her too. Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. They say that whatever you're doing on the first day of the new year is what you're going to be doing for the rest of the year, right? So I'm hoping for lots of programming and working on fun 3D projects and stuff in the new year. So okay, so yeah, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna try to make an interesting looking rib for this cutout. So we want to do something like this. Do three. That should be. Yeah, uh, Jupiter BJY. Yeah, if you watch my stream for the entire year, that would be great for my watch hours. YouTube is so funny. Like sometimes, I mean, I'll admit, like I haven't streamed for a while, but there was a good run there where I was getting a lot of views, and there was, I think I made it into some kind of playlist that a lot of people were listening to, maybe when they were sleeping or something. And I got a ton of watch hours. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really gonna try to stream more, and then it just like completely died off. But then now, like I haven't streamed for a while, and I'm getting all kinds of random views. I mean, not a lot, but getting random subscribers and stuff. I think what I need to do though is I need to get back. I started doing this series where I was building a, yeah, this is what I want. Where I was building a kind of Oregon Trail style text adventure game, and a lot of people like that, and I need to get back into that and finish it off. It's kind of a almost functioning like a little intro to programming stream, because I was doing some really basic Python stuff, and it was kind of fun. It was fun just to think, like, how do I do this simple thing in a simple way? It's been a while since I've thought like that. Yeah, um, it's obviously so Jupiter BJY is talking about stream notifications. There's definitely something like that going on, where there's a delay. Usually when I start, I mean, like I'm not complaining. It's like I'm not entitled to, you know, YouTube um, doing anything to promote me or even send notifications, but usually when I stream, I get a handful of viewers. Sometimes a lot, sometimes just a few. Um, but usually usually it's like I start streaming, and then um, and then uh, and then it's like a bit of a delay. There's a couple people that watch who are my Twitter friends, so they will come from Twitter, like right when I start it, they see it. But usually there's a bit of delay. I think that's what you're talking about. Um, there's a bit of delay for people to come. Is that really what was happening before? So my bounds weren't actually real. A bunch of things are complaining now. Yeah, that's interesting. The little caps are sticking out. Why is that? Oh, yeah, that's because they're sticking out beyond the... Let's just add... yeah, so this should be pipe extra. add. Yeah, Jupiter BJY says, funny that only 2 times I ever streamed to live test my script with YouTube API. It triggered unexpected random friends immediately. That's 5 years ago, though. Good times. I mean, it's really cool. I think people complain a lot about the YouTube algorithm, but in my opinion, the YouTube algorithm is really good at recommending smaller channels. Like I don't have a lot of subscribers, right? I mean, I've got like 300 subscribers, and I get random views, and I get a good variety of people, you know, and people who are often like quite interested in what I'm doing. um Jupiter BJY is somebody who I really have a lot in common with, and you know, the the YouTube algorithm is to thank for that, right? And I don't really spend a lot of time on YouTube watching programming stuff, but I've discovered a ton of really good music and small music channels. So I'm really big into playing folk music and bluegrass, and there's a ton of like really insanely good small folk and bluegrass YouTube channels. They have like less subscribers than me, like 200 subscribers, and you watch a few of those, and your feed is just full of them. It's awesome, and you know, truly, you could find some life-altering stuff that you would not find out about any other way via the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, see, this is what I was picturing. Now let's give ourselves just a little bit more room here, and then let's add some bubbles to this. So I want to take this into Blender. Oh, I know what's going on here. Because I'm not actually aligning my extra width here with let's take a look at this. I'm being a little bit picky now, but it's kind of fun to be picky. Yeah, so Jupiter BJY says agreed. It's not doing in search department since one-to-one name match also fails search, but recommendation was decent. Yeah, you know, and I agree with that. The search is dumb because you'll like search for things and then and then you yeah, and then like it'll start just putting random things that you've been watching that aren't related to your search in the search results. I hate that. But the recommendation can be good, and yeah, like good to like genius level. And the and I mean, some people say like I believe that that people have like goofy results with notifications and stuff like that, but I've never I've never had I've never had the subscription feed just not show me videos from somebody that I've subscribed to. So like, I don't know, if you want to see videos from a channel, just subscribe to them. I've never had trouble with that. Like some people have. I don't really rely on notifications for YouTube too much. Trying to figure out what's going on with this. Getting some things I don't expect. Okay, that is actually a line. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking, for some reason, that trapezoid didn't. Yeah, it was aligned at 0, but it's not. Yeah. Yeah, so Jimmy BJY is asking what's that part, by the way. It feels like radiator should be shrouded in. So it's so the trapezoidal thing that I'm building right now is like a cutter that's cutting into the fuselage of the ship to make a cutout for the radiators to slide in and out of. And it did not show. Okay, let's see here. So the idea with this ship, and I'm just like kind of playing with different radiator designs, is that most ships have radiators that kind of like stick out the sides, this IOTA has like these radiators that are just sort of like stuck to the side, so the reactors would be inside, and then like the radiator is like you know, parallel to the surface of the ship rather than perpendicular. Here the radiators are like they would slide into the fuselage and slide out, so like in a less intense setting you'd have like a smaller profile, or like the ship could be more compact, but then you could kind of get more efficiency, you know, in a more intense, like a combat situation is the idea. And then what I need to do here is I need to add some panels to these radiators. I need to fix this design a little bit. I have panels on the rest of the ship, but not really on the reactors. But yeah, the idea is like each of these is a fusion reactor. You know, magic fusion somehow generates a lot of heat and is piped out the back. So, okay. I think we're at the point where I'm ready to start getting the 3D print project set up here. Let me just make sure that we don't have any extra stuff left over here. I think it's just this thing. Okay. So let's yeah, let's see where we're at with So, this is great. So remember those things that we deleted. This is what we need to put back in. And you can see I've kind of changed how this stuff works, so it's a lot nicer and neater now. We can actually tell what this stuff is instead of it just looking like for some reason I was removing the low detail radiators there too. I'm not sure why. The non-watertight stuff, that's just like low poly markings and things that are used for the game. Okay. So now where is this fuselage slash floor coming from? Something hard-coded here. No? Oh yeah, here we go. Need to fix these. So let's see. And yeah, I kind of went through and cleaned up these names a lot. So it's just going to be drive system. Yeah, we can actually do this like this. Drive system. Drives. Like that. Look at that. Oh. Such a mess before. Hammond is the name, it's like the make of the ship. It's not really a class, because it's like it's a corvette, so it's not like a warship. But yeah, I was in, there we go. Nice. Okay. So we've got to separate out these dishes, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. We got to think about doing a split somewhere here too. Yeah. So the Hammond is actually the name of a city near where I live, so that's where the name comes from. Uh-oh. What happened there? We're not using our... Oh, I know what's going on. We must still have an exit somewhere. Where we're not saving our... Oh, no, that's what it is. Forgot to put this in printing mode. Okay. This is confusing the way I did this. This should actually just be a list. And this should be a list. I'm trying to be too clever. And this would just follow in this is just kind of separating out different components that we're gonna have pegs for. What do you mean it's not a mesh? It's a mesh. Oh. Oh. Okay. Just need to add an extra. Okay. Let me just compare quick with this IOTA project. Just trying to keep parity here. A lot of these little components didn't really print well. But just want to compare. Yeah, I had that vertical. Okay, let's add a slice here to the Hammond. So with this IOTA, I have a slice here, just to kind of keep things from getting too tall when printing. Let's add a slice like that to the Hammond, and then we'll be done for now. I think there's definitely a few more things left to do before we can actually print, but I think the interesting part of this is pretty much over. So Jupiter BJY asks if I'm intending to bond it. I'm assuming you mean like adding some glue or something. I could. Ultimately, I'd like to find ways to attach things together that don't really require glue. My goal with this stuff is really not to make models, but to make toys and things that can be printed easily and assembled easily, and kind of can be remade when little kids break them. But I haven't been super happy with just the fit and finish that I get from doing this, so I think I've got to find a better solution. But I also haven't experimented a ton with, you know, sanding or different things. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how, in general, how things fit. I have a sort of automatic process where I can make little pegs that fit into holes, and that works pretty well. It needs like some kind of grip or attachment, or like tab and slot or something. That actually might be something that I play with a little bit over the next couple of days. Just not in the context of actual models, but just like with some test prints. Because I think I could figure it out. How hard can it be, right? That's what I always say. Okay. Yeah, let's add a cut here. So we kind of compare configs here. So yeah. Splits. I can't believe that all this actually works. It's kind of fun. So this is kind of another advantage of like parameterizing everything. So if I my music ran out. Choose something. Okay, here's the Cyberpunk Dark Synth playlist. Ghost Machine. We'll try this. Ooh, nice. when you parameterize everything, then you can reuse things for different purposes, right? So like I have what I call panel cuts. So like on a spacecraft, there's like different points where there's like cuts that make panels. So I can reuse those cuts here for where I want to actually make a slice in a model that I print. And I'm kind of converging on how to do this. So let's see if it works the same way. I think this is the same thing here. Let's just take the second one. Some kind of total length here. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, so first of all, we got to get that total fuselage length. Oh, it's just line total. But that might not be quite what we want, I think. Oh. I'm too clever. Too clever for myself here. So I think we're just going to let's see here. Let's try this. Let's see. Yeah, the problem with this ship is that the fuselage is constructed from 3 different parts, and then I'm doing panel cuts along the bevels of those parts, so I don't have nice constants for where they are. So I'm gonna just try to cut off the nose, and actually maybe I'll cut off the center. So if we go y min plus const dot fuse for your len A, I bet that'll do something like what we want. And let's see here. And separate that out. Still can't believe that this stuff actually works. Let's see. Derp. think this is just kind of a dumb error here. Problem that I got myself into was having like multiple different ways of indicating a identity transformation, and that always comes back to bite me. Because see, like this is so dumb, but we're just gonna do it. It's like oh yeah, look at that. Now, why is this not watertight? This looks like a great watertight mesh. Oh, okay. Okay. That's not quite where I wanted to cut it, but yeah, Jupiter BJY says those that never goes away is to do, and this is stupid. Yeah, many such cases. My day job, I work on this big C++ code base, and we use this code analysis tool in it, and it won't let you have to-dos. It might even like not even run the rest of the analysis if there's like a wait, no, it lets you have to-dos, but it always flags them. So we can't really like merge anything with to-do items. I think it's kind of maybe not the best either, but solves that problem, I guess. Okay. Okay, so the problem though is that we didn't quite slice it the right way. And oh, actually, you know what? I think I might know what's going on. Oh gosh, where am I? Okay, damn it, I see. Okay. Let's review what's going on here. This is a rather intense soundtrack here too. I don't know if I'm feeling it. Oh, okay, yeah, I need to do len A plus len B. Good sign. Yeah. Why is this not watertight? Suddenly. Oh, yeah. Okay. And those window pieces. Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one. Let's go a little farther. Still struggling to understand why this isn't watertight. Something must be going on here. Something stupid. Oh, did those pipes come back to bite us? The pipes are the windows. Is this the parts? I think this is the parts that goes with the split. Let's see here. The challenge is when you cut a piece off, there's other pieces that have to go with it, and names, yeah, the names that we got to reparent. So, okay, let's just take a look at this before we split it. Yeah, these pipes, that's kind of the kicker here, is because it's like we need to cut more than one part at once here. Actually, and let's see, it's the window insert. Is there a merge aggregates? Yeah, okay, so we gotta aggregate here. So yeah, okay. We gotta aggregate the fuselage first. This might solve all of our problems. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, no. Oh, oh my gosh. So, I ran into the same exact problem with a none transformation, and it was in my function for transforming a mesh inverse. Now I'm getting... yeah, I don't think this is quite what I want. This I might have to take offline, just because there's a lot of nonsense going on here. But yeah, I think I have the tools to do what I want here. I don't remember quite how they work. Basically, what we need to do is we need to group things first before we do the slicing. While we exclude the things that we want to separate out, and then that should take care of this problem. Because we basically just want to chop this up into like 3 pieces. But yeah. Okay, well, I think we've had a good stream here. I'm really glad that you came by, Jupiter BJY. It's always good to see you. And I'm probably going to try to stream a little later today. I've been making some really good progress with my game, and I want to share some of that. Continue work, and maybe hopefully show that I've solved this. maybe even a 3D print if we're lucky. But we'll get there. Thanks again to everyone who came, and have a good rest of your day.